Douglas, we're really pleased to have you with us tonight. And maybe Douglas Alexander.
Thank you very much for those generous words. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, everybody. I can think of no more eloquent tribute to the deep concern and continued commitment to the cause of justice for the Palestinians and peace in the Middle East than the sheer scale of the turnout this evening for Labour Friends of Palestine and the Middle East's reception. This organisation does invaluable work in the Labour movement, in educating people, in informing people, in allowing people to travel to the region and see for themselves the realities of the circumstances and the condition on the ground. And in that sense, I would want to begin by thanking you, Richard, and everybody who has put in such tireless work over the last couple of years to Labour Friends of Palestine and the Middle East. Thank you very much indeed. Now listen, the Middle East, as we all know in this room, is engulfed in turmoil at the moment. And while over decades of failure by the international community to resolve the Middle East crisis, there has been an assumption that if we can find a way forward in relation to Palestine and the Israelis, then the broader Middle East will be at peace. That, frankly, is being challenged by some of the developments we are seeing today across the region. Now, should that be a pretext or a rationale for stepping back from that diplomatic failure? I believe categorically no. I believe it does make the case, notwithstanding the turmoil, the change, the widespread forces at work across the region, to engage once again in the endeavour of trying to deliver justice for the Palestinians and security for the Israelis. And that's why I want to begin by echoing the words of welcome that Richard mentioned to the work of John Kerry, the US Secretary of State. There were many who suggested that for him to commit as much time, effort and energy to the cause of a two-state solution within weeks of assuming the office of Secretary of State of the United States was itself futile. But the voice that I have heard that has been most compelling in advocating for the importance of that work in recent weeks was Abu Mazen. Just 2 weeks ago in London, along with Ian Lucas and Ed Miliband, I sat beside Erica and Abu Mazen and asked from his point of view, him to describe the importance of the work that was being taken forward. And I have to say, I have had the privilege of meeting the President on a number of occasions, and I have rarely met him as optimistic and convinced that a way forward can be found. Now, goodness knows we know of the difficulties. We know of the repeated failures, we know of the continued issues, problems and concerns that have proved to be an almost impenetrable barrier to moving forward a two-state solution in the past. But I just give you my word, in that meeting with Abu Mazen, he was at pains to emphasise a couple of points. Firstly, his deep and generous support of the Labour Party's position in relation to the issue of recognition for the Palestinians at the United Nations. He was clear, as we were at the time, that Labour raising its voice, and if we had been in power, using our vote to go for enhanced status for the Palestinians, was understood and recognised for what it represented as a means of affirming the cause of politics and of negotiation as a way forward in this crisis. But he was also at pains to say, we must be unstinting in our support of the efforts being made by John Kerry to try and find a way forward. The delegations will be meeting again in Washington in the coming weeks, and there is much work to be done. But frankly, I believe that when I addressed this audience last year, there was neither peace nor a process. Of course there is not peace in the Middle East today, but there is at least a process. And our shared responsibility is to be unstinting in the efforts that Europe makes collectively and the United Kingdom makes individually to stand behind that goal of a two-state solution. Why is that so important? Because at root, the failure to find a way forward is a failure of politics. And the resolution to this crisis, this man-made crisis, rests in politics. Statehood for the Palestinians is not a gift to be given. It is a right to be recognised. And the way that that is recognised is crucial. So I know that Ed will be joining you later this evening. I know that Ian Lucas will be speaking as well on behalf of the front bench team. But I really want to end where I began, by thanking you for the work that you do and the difference that you are making to the cause of the Palestinians' voice being heard within the labour movement, by saying now is the time not to step back but to step forward in our support for the two-state solution after so many years of disappointment, and to give you my word as Shadow Foreign Secretary that the leadership of the Labour Party stands behind the achievement of statehood for the Palestinians as part of that broader peace settlement in the Middle East. Thank you very much indeed.